Hi everyone, welcome back to strength training for this week. So our main focus this week is going to be on mobility and glute activation for this week and a bit more next week. And we're also going to add in a bit more of speed work next week at the end as well. So we're just kind of building up on that over the next couple of weeks. So for today, all you're really going to need is a foam roller and some resistant bands. So if you have your long flat band, just tie that one up as always, so just it will fit above your knee, and it shouldn't be too loose, so it should actually really be pretty tight for today. But also, and I thought I'd just touch on that a bit today, and talk about a bit more about those small resistant bands. You probably see me using quite a bit, so I've got some different types. Some that are definitely a bit harder to work at, and then some that are just a bit more versatile to use really for upper body as well as for lower body. So with those stronger ones, I don't think you can actually get them at Rebel Sport, but if you look online, NZ Fitness Gear, they have a pretty good variety of bands. Yeah, so if you just go online, if you really want to invest a bit, and they're not overly expensive, I think that one might be, I don't know, $10, $15 maybe, but they last a long time compared to those smaller latex bands. So if you go into those ones here, you really just need one, because we're not going to do a lot of different exercises with it. We're really just using it a bit more for glute activation. And legs, really. So we can't do a lot of upper body work with those ones. But you know, as I said, like, they're just really good, and they just give you a bit more resistance if we work on their glute activation and do a bit more leg work. So they don't allow you a lot of room. And you know, those of you that have been coming to my sessions here know how effective those actually are. So it's definitely worth looking into that, and you know, just get one. So that's a medium, so you can get different sizes. So small is probably the one that gives you the hardest resistance, really, but it's also really tight, so it doesn't give you a lot of room to work with. So if you use a medium or a large, I think they also do an extra large, but a medium or large for most of you will be totally fine. Yep, so these are the I don't actually know what they're called, just resistant bands really, but if you look it up, especially on NZ Fitness Gear, that's where I always purchase my equipment from, you will see these are the ones that have a bit of rubber on the inside, so they're not slipping away like those rubber bands can sometimes roll up and don't stay in place. So yeah, have a look for those. And then the other ones you see me using are those latex rubber bands, and they come in different resistance, resistance, I don't know how to say that, strength maybe. Yep, so, and you know, with those ones really, it's definitely worth getting a light, a medium and an extra heavy, just so you are covered for different types of exercises we do. And it's really just making it a bit easier, especially if you have just the long flat band, to, you know, if I say, okay, let's grab a harder resistance, so that one is a heavy one, and that probably would be in a way the most comparable one to those ones here. Not quite as much, but it's probably the closest you would get. And especially with those bands, most of the time you can get them in a whole pack, so you have, I think, 3 or 4, like an extra light, medium and heavy, or extra heavy even. So it's, you know, I think it's definitely worth it, because they are so easy to use for either upper body and lower body. Yeah, and they're also good if, you know, if we do our pull aparts, these bands are great, because you can just, with a light version, you know, do your pull aparts. We can still do some squats with it, some lunges, you know, really depending on what we want to do. So, you know, if you want, look into that. And I think Rebel Sport should stock those, but again, if you go on NZ Fitness Gear, they have either the whole package with one of each in it, or I think you can even buy them individually. But yeah, have a look at that. So I thought I'd just talk a bit about that today, so you kind of know. If you look into, you know, just upgrading a bit what you have at home, I think it's definitely worth getting those mini loop bands and maybe one of these. But to be honest, if you get the whole package and you have the heavy or extra heavy one, there is not really a need to invest in one of those. So if you start with those latex bands, that's honestly a perfect start to have, and it's not necessary to get one of those on top of that. So, you know, I don't want you to waste your money on stuff you actually figure out in the end you don't need. Okay, so today we are going to work on mobility and glute activation. So it's not overly hard today, we just really want to activate those glutes, work a bit more on overhead mobility and a bit of shoulder mobility, thoracic, you know, moving that spine around a bit. And yeah, perfect. So let's get started. So grab your foam roller to start with, and we're going to lay on your back. Foam roller just in between your hands. We're coming down. Think about how I said last week as well, to engage your core. So we want to make sure you decrease the space between your ribs and your hips. So how are we going to do that again? We're thinking about pushing our ribs down towards your hips and really feel how at the same time your lower back is moving down onto the ground and you flatten that part completely out. So this is the position where you want to stay, and keeping the core nice and tight, feet relaxed, you know, just feet hip width, slightly forward, arms up straight, keeping the core nice and tight, overhead, and now really making sure we're not popping those ribs. Yep, so they're staying in place and coming up. Overhead, so we're just warming up nice and easy. 2, 3, core nice and tight. Don't hold your breath. 5, 6, 7, and we go for 3 more. And the last one, 10. Right. So then we come into our Superman from last week. So we're going to lay face down. Yep. So we have one hand, let's start with your left hand in front, palm facing up. Your right hand, palm up, coming to the back. We want to lift, feet up, chest up, core nice and tight. Straight arms rotating over, palms facing up. Yep, so keep your glutes engaged. Palms up. As we rotate, your palms come down and up. That's 2, 3. So there's no need to rush. You want to be in control of your movement. 8, 2 more. Last one. And 10. Good. Perfect. So you can feel we're really just working on that shoulder rotation. So you might feel a few clicks, maybe a few crunches. So next up we're doing some rotation for your spine. So we want to have one neck kneeling down, the other one just out to the side, foot flat. Straight arm just underneath your shoulder, hand on your head, pushing your knee through. And then we come down, rotating all the way up, down and up. So we do 10 in here. That's 5. I'm just going to rotate it over so you can see how that looks from the side. 6, 7. So you see, you really want to open up your chest. Bring your elbow over as far as you can up to the ceiling. 10, and now we change over. So change over legs, hands on your head. So you can see my weight is, my hip is pretty much above my hip is above my knee. So I'm not leaning forward. We actually want to think of maybe slightly pushing back, if anything, yeah? And then as you push back, you probably feel a bit of a stretch in your inner thigh, which is just what we want. So another 10, 1. Again, we're just warming up, so be nice and gentle, don't pushing it too much. Perfect, great. Okay, so you guys, I want you to spend 2 more rounds in here. Yep, so just going to really repeat what we've just done. Again, it's nice and easy. As you probably move on to the 3rd round, just see, especially with your rotation, if you can just get that bit further. And again, make sure you keep your ribs in tight. Yep, so your core is tight as you rotate and we're not hyperextending in your back. Right, so set number 2, what you're going to need is your foam roller. And we're going to start in a squat position. So I'm just starting from the side for the first 10, and then, so we do the first 10 with a foam roller, or I just demonstrate it with a roller and you can decide if you want to use it or not. And then I do the next 10 without the roller. So you kind of see and probably feel why you should maybe need it or not. Okay, so we want your feet a bit wider than shoulder width. We want to think of rotating your knees out, pushing back, coming down into that squat. Hands down onto the roller. So you can see already if you feel really tight, either in your lower back, in your hamstrings, maybe your hip flexors even. This is where the foam roller is quite handy because you're not going as low. Okay, so hands on the roller, we want to keep that whole position nice and strong, core nice and tight, raising your arm up, overhead for 10, 3, 4, 5, keep that core nice and tight. If your back starts hurting, purely because you're not engaging your core. So number 3, 2, 1, right, you can continue for the next 10 with the roller. I'm going to put that away, turning to the front. Right, so coming down, you see my knees are out nicely, hands down, number 10. Feet are completely flat, we're not lifting your heels, yeah, we're not on the side of your feet, your entire foot is in contact with the ground. Another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, right, okay. So next up we're going into some lunges, a bit more dynamic. So grab your roller, we want to lunge forward, rotating over. 10 per leg. Make sure your foot is flat, your knees not going over your toes, your knees not collapsing in. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, couple up, 9, and 10. Ooh, that gets your heart rate up. Okay, so next we come onto your back. We're lying down. Okay, so we're going to do your YTW back extensions. Yeah? I'll actually face you guys. So we come down, your feet are staying on the ground this time. Yeah, so not like the Superman in the beginning, where you lift everything up. Feet are on the ground, thumbs up. We're looking down, keeping the core nice and tight. 10 raises. 2, 3, 6, 9, 10. Out to the side. 1, 2. Squeezing those shoulder blades. Now we bend your arms, wrist above your elbows. Up, big squeeze, release. Lift, big squeeze, release. Last one. 10. Woo. That gets you back warmed up. Right, and then the next one, we're going your half Turkish get-ups. So we're lying down. Lying down flat. So opposite arm or arm up, the opposite leg is bent. Is it? Oh, opposite leg is flat and straight. That's the way, yeah. Okay, so arms facing up. We want to come into a sit-up. So you can use, I'll just change over so you can see me better for this first one. So you can use your other arm as support for a sit-up. Again, make sure your cores are nice and tight. So we come up. Yeah, so you see my arm is still facing up. My hand has moved behind me. And now from here we're pushing up, lifting, coming back down. That's it, so that's 1. Up, push, big squeeze in your butt. 2, 3, 4, last one. Arm up, arm, bicep in line with your ear. And up. Right, change it over, other side. So you come up, lift, back down. Up, lift, back down. So you're, just a side note, as you come up and you lift, your foot from the leg that's bent stays flat. So we're not going onto your heel here. Yeah, so we want to raise that hip, which the only way we can really do that with good support is if we drive through the entire foot on the way up. So we can actually engage your hamstrings and your glutes. If we're on your toes, we don't get that activation in the back. Yeah? So let's do 2 more here. Coming up. Lift. Down. Up. Lift. And back down. Perfect. Okay. So you see, it's not a lot of hard work in that aspect. It's just really working on stability and the right engagement of your core muscles, of your legs, your abductors, your adductors, your glutes. So that's 1 round. I want you guys to do 2 more rounds to finish off here. And then set number 3 for today. So you will need your band tightened up so we can fit that above your knee. And then you also need your drink bottle or a light weight if you have, but I assume everyone just has a drink bottle handy anyway. Okay, so we're starting with your single leg glute activation. Yeah, so we do 8 lunges, nice and easy. Take your time. Yeah. So the slower you are, the more time you actually have to focus on your body and see what's your knee doing, what's your foot doing. Last one. Now we come into your single leg lift and up. or as you lean forward and you lift your back leg, what you want to do is you want to engage, so my right leg in this case, you want to engage your right glute, so this leg is nice and stable. So we come up, there we go. 3, again take your time. 4, there's no need to rush. 6, 7, last one, 8. Okay, so now we lean forward again, back leg nice and high, and we raise your arm, controlled, 8 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right, other leg, 8 lunges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, I just had to check if the camera is still going. Right, I think that must be 8. Okay, now we lean forward. Yep, so upper back nice and straight, shoulders back, core tight, chest proud. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's actually always a really good one, just to video yourself, so you can actually see what you're doing, because it just happens, you know, that you think you're doing it right until you see yourself, and then you just have those checkpoints, you know, where you think, okay, next time I can focus maybe putting my shoulders back because I'm a bit too round, or maybe my back leg's a bit low. So, you know, there's no harm, and now we raise for 8. There's no harm to really just video yourself and see what you're actually doing. It's 5, 6, 7, keeping your standing leg. 8, nice, your standing foot nice and relaxed. Okay, so grab your band, placing it above your knee, coming down onto the ground. So we're doing glute raises. So I want your feet hip width apart, bend above your knee, and we come up, pushing out from your knee slightly. Your feet are staying flat. 2, 3, 4, keeping the core nice and tight. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 16, 4 more, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Right, let's come on up from here. Your bend stays where it is. We're going to take some steps forward now. So we start feet hip width. We want to go out to the side. So we want to walk nice and walk. So they're called monster walks. So you come out, staying low and then squat. Out, out, out. Yeah. Forward, forward, forward. And now we come back. And you hopefully can feel that right in the back of your glutes. I can. If not, tighten your band up a bit tighter. Right, and again, forward. So you can see I come a bit in and then walk it back out. Come a bit in and out. And again, your upper body is nice and strong. So you're not hanging through. We're working the core, we're working your back. It's all about that posture. And back. Whoo, can really feel it in my right. I know my left side is a bit lazy. Oh my goodness. Whew. Right, okay. So roughly 5 forward, 5 back twice. And then I want you to come, feet together, light squat. No, sorry, come out straight. Squat and up. 2, step it out. 3, 4, 5, 6, another 4, 7. Now I can feel my left side is finally waking up. 8, 9, last one, 10, other side, 1, 2, that's it, 3, 4, 5, that's it, 6, woo, 7, 8, now they're getting tired, 9, last one, and 10, perfect. Right, so you guys, I'd like you to do 2 or 3 more rounds all up, yeah? So really just to get those glute muscles fired up, really wake them up. So 2 to 3 more rounds. See how you feel. If you feel you're getting too tired, you're losing your form, you know, just stop. Don't push it any further. But if you feel you can go for like 4 rounds all up, go for it. But you know, again, if you feel like 2 or 3 is enough, that's totally fine. Okay, so thanks guys. That's it for this week. And I will see you next week again. See you then. Bye.